Angie Senger here with Men Stories Opry, and today we're visiting with Bill Kelly over here in Coon Rapids, right?
Yes,
Coon
yes,
Rapids,
indeed.
Minnesota. And it's such a nice day, we decided to just sit outside and have a chat.
Enjoy the patio life.
Enjoy the patio. That's right, it's lovely out here. Really nice today. How long you lived over here?
I moved back in 2000 after my dad died, but the folks moved out here in 53.
53.
Wow. So we've been here a long time.
And you've been around the area doing music for forever. You just know everybody.
Since 1957, I was 16 when I joined the bar band.
Where?
Terry's Club down the road, when it was there.
Right in the neighborhood.
Right in the neighborhood. Went from there to Frigley Roadhouse, and it later became the Frontier Club. And I was in at the beginning of both of them.
And did you always play the lead guitar?
Yeah.
And did you, what kind of music did you play back then?
Well, I played country back then. And I did that until about 63. Then I decided to have a venue change. Went to pop, rock, jazz, blues, whatever. Away from country. I stayed away from country until 1983. So I was away from it for 20 years.
And where did you play then?
I played halfway across the country. I traveled with a band, all the Gammons. We were a trio, and we went from northern tier states, Montana to Pennsylvania.
Playing what kind of places? Honky tonks?
Honky tonks and bowling alleys and big places like the ballroom, the ballroom.
Now, would you just show up in these towns and...
No, I had an agent.
Oh, you had an agent
Yeah.
that booked you across there. Wow, kept you busy.
Kept us busy for a couple of years.
How often did you get home?
Once in a great while. About every few weeks we'd manage to...
Wow, that's worse than a truck driver. Truck drivers get home a little more often.
Yeah, and it would be about every third gig we'd get home. Then we'd go out for 2 weeks at a gig. So I figure about 6 weeks out, then we'd come home, change our laundry bags.
Did you love it?
I loved it. Yeah.
And it was just the three of you?
Three of us doing our thing. And we had a great time. And we came into town, got a gig at what was then called the Venetian Inn.
Oh,
we did
yeah.
that Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday doing dinner music.
We used to go to dinner there
Oh, yeah.
when we were dating.
Oh, goodness.
Before we got married, the Venetian Inn.
And then we went from Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. We went to Schweitz's Bar over on Payne Avenue, and we played rock and roll over there. And then Sundays we did old time and pop over at Wisconsin Hotel, the Badger Lodge, over in just across the border, wherever it was.
Ellsworth or something like that. Something.
But it was interesting. 7 nights a week, and we did that for years.
7 nights a week.
Yeah.
Wow. And would you stay there?
No,
Stay down there?
no, we just Travis go back and forth every night, local road, But we managed to stay busy. We had records out at that time that did quite well, and
Were they played on the radio?
they were played on the radio, the
Local stations here?
local stations. The rock and roll 45 hit a lot of the KDWB and a couple of them places. We did, our biggest venue was in Omaha, Nebraska, was our sales area. We never played there, but that was the biggest record deal. That was one of those deals. We could never manage to get there.
But they loved your music.
They loved the music. They sold a lot.
It's a shame you didn't play it there.
Yeah. And then we got did an album. The drummer wanted to have his picture on the album, so we did that. We said, okay, we can have that. So we did it as a 4-piece. And then people like Franklin Hobbs and Hobbs House, he would play it.
Oh, yeah.
Because it was a jazz kind of oriented music.
So you weren't doing country then?
Oh, no. And like I say, I didn't do country until 1983. So from the 60s to 80s, I run into an old friend, Dale Henry, in 1980, who said, "What you going to do?" I said, "Well, I'm going to West Coast. I'll see you in a couple of years." So 83, I came back and ran into him again, and I said, let's do something. And he says, "I need a guitar player." He said, "We're doing country." And I said, "What's that?" He says, "We're going to do..."
Didn't even know anymore.
"We're going to do Waylon Jennings." And I said, "Who is that?"
Who's that?
Who is that? I had no clue. But it was fun. It was fun. And after probably the second or third week, I got the picture what we were doing. And he just shook his head. He goes, "What can I tell you?"
I don't doubt it for a minute. And now you've been writing songs. You've been writing songs all along, I suppose.
Yes, and most of which I don't have a record of. I had a book of about 200 that got lost in when we were moving someplace. And they just disappeared. So I have no clue where they are, what they were, no idea what content was.
So back to the drawing board, start from scratch, huh?
Yeah, and then I run across a bunch of, there was a dozen songs that was in an old folder. Oh, it didn't get lost, I don't know. But I took it and I said, "Well, okay, I'll take some of that and write some new stuff and put it on recording."
And then when I went over to the Yellow House recording studio, the first time I went over there, you were just finishing up.
Yeah.
And so I had to work around your project to get mine started. And I didn't know who you were. That's when I first heard your name.
Uh-huh.
I knew Richard, of course, but I didn't. Your bass player, who's now my bass player.
See, there you go.
But I didn't know you then. But he gave me a copy of your CD at that time. I bought one after that. But he gave me one because he was working on it, the guy at the studio, Mike Walters, and told me to go listen to it. So this is, a sample of what comes out of the studio. So that's why he gave me that to listen to. And I thought, wow, this guy's really writing some good stuff. I liked it.
Well,
so then here we are all these years later.
Yeah.
So now this first song we're going to talk about, we're going to do several today, but the first song is the title song of the project.
Yeah.
And it's called
Take It Slow Coming Back.
Take It Slow Coming Back. What made you write this song?
Oh, I think it was a girlfriend was leaving, and I figured if she's going to leave, and then she could take it slow coming back. And I figured it was
See you later.
See you later,
maybe.
A long time from now. 8 minutes.
Oh, so that's how it came about? It's always something, isn't it? Something that gets it started.
And most of my writing has been kind of that or just off the wall things. There's a couple of them that we won't do today, but they were on the album. I wrote many years ago, about 1970, one of them. I woke up at 2 o'clock in the morning, and in 20 minutes had the whole song completed with 15 chord changes in that thing. And there were just, that's the way it is, and that's the way it's going to be. And I was just amazed. I got up the next day and I went,
what the heck was I thinking?
What drugs were I on? I weren't on any, but I really should have had some.
Wow. I'll talk about that later. But right now we're going to listen to
Take It Slow Coming Back.
Take It Slow Coming Back by Bill Kelly.